Okay, here's our very last video in 3.6 where we combine all of these new transformations. Really the only important rule for combining transformations is to follow the order of operations. Okay. The order of operations tells us that we have to do our parentheses first. So you do parentheses first. And then after that, the multiply and divide. Okay, and then after that, your add and subtract. Okay, all right, so we want to make sure we do them in the right order. Okay, so let's go ahead and let's combine some transformations. So here we're going to go ahead and we're going to start with our parent, which in this case is nice. They give us our parent as just the plain old parent function, f of x equals x. So let's go ahead, let's graph him. Okay, we're getting pretty good at that parent by now. Okay, all right, there's our parent, f of x. We want to label him as such. And then now we want to take g of x, and we want to go step by step through all of these transformations. Do not do too many at once. Do one at a time. Okay, so we're going to start with what x is. And if I knew what x was, the first thing I do is multiply by the 2. Okay, so we'd multiply by that 2. That 2 is out front. It's not inside because there's no parentheses or anything there involved. So that would be a vertical stretch by 2. So I'm going to come in, I'm going to take this parent, and I'm going to stretch him out up and down by 2. So I'm going to take all of these points. This point will stay the same. This one's up 1, so now I need to go up 2. This one's up 2, I need to go up 4. This one's down 1, so down 2, down 2, down 4. Okay, and I'm going to kind of sketch that one in. Okay, and I'm going to kind of just sketch them kind of dotted-ish to know that that's our in-between step. Okay, so we got vertical stretch. Okay, we haven't dealt with that negative yet. We've got that negative out front there. So that negative out front, again, that negative's out front. So if you don't remember, let's go back to our reflections. That negative's out front there, which tells me it's going to be a reflection in the x-axis. So let's come here. We need to reflect this. So that negative is going to be a reflect in the x-axis. So I need to reflect these points down. So I'm reflecting the orange now because we went from blue and we went from the red, we went to the orange, and after orange, now we're going to do a new green. So now this point, instead of being up 2, it now needs to be down 2. This point, instead of being up 4, it now needs to be down 4. This point, instead of being down 4, it's up 4, okay? And this one's still in the middle. So there, we reflected it. So here's our green. Again, I'm going to kind of dash line him, because there's our green. So there's after our reflection, we get that green line. So here's the one we're working with next. Okay, the only thing we haven't done yet is that last on the end there. Okay, so we've got this last plus 3. So this plus 3 is on the end. So since that plus 3 is on the end, that's a translation. Plus 3 would move me up. So I now need to take my line and move them up 3. So now we're looking at this green line. I need to take every point and move it up 1, 2, 3. So take every point and move it up 1, 2, 3. This point up 1, 2, 3. Okay, this point up 1, 2, 3. Move every single point up 3. And it gets me this guy right here. I'm doing him solid because he's our final guy. He is our g of x. We did every transformation. So it says describe the transformations. The only one we didn't do is we want to say we translate up 3 units. So really there are my descriptions. So what did I do? I did a vertical stretch by, oh, I forgot to write by what? Or did I erase it? It was a vertical stretch by 2. And then a reflection in the x-axis, and then a translation up 3. So in that order. Okay, I did a vertical stretch by 2, a reflection in the x-axis, and translated up 3. Now we can use what we know about equations to know, okay, this should have a y-intercept of 3. And a slope of negative 2. So let's make sure. Does this guy have a y-intercept of 3? 1, 2, 3, and a slope of negative 2. Down 2 over 1. It does. So we were able to then verify our graph. Okay, so now our last bit of practice. Page 152, 42 through 68, and then number 62. Don't forget that number 62 there on the end. Make sure you do him. Okay, please see me if you have questions.